Hey, this is Ken Casey from the Dropkick Murphys, and I love the Grandstanders! Take it away, kid!
Hello and welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor, Russ Stevens, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and the first son of Milton, Massachusetts, Tim Hoey. Well, we have another great show for you tonight. So, of course, boys, let's get it started.
Getting the holiday spirit tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. I love the hat, Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe, that's a sight to be seen.
Tim, and then I have the Celtics hat. Can you see it through the green screen? See, look at that. That's kind of mysterious, right?
Yeah.
Kind of invisible. Half of my head has been cut off. And sometimes
somebody would have argued that 3 years ago.
I walked
boom. Yeah, you walked right into that one.
For us. All right, first of all, I want to thank our sponsor, Dante's Pizzeria, 415 Harvard Street. David, one of our favorite people in the whole entire world,
right.
and great food.
Catering too.
Yeah, so of course, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to the Dante's restaurant. All right, so boys, do you remember that show? I'm aging myself. The cartoon Richie Rich.
Oh yeah, my favorite.
Okay, remember that
Oh
cartoon?
yeah, the comic book.
Yeah, and it was a cartoon series.
Oh,
I was more into the comic.
yeah.
Do you remember the dog's name?
Dollar.
Dog.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
very good.
You're not gonna catch the professor
Yeah,
right.
right. That was good.
Girlfriend's name, does anyone know?
Oh, I don't know. Melania.
I thank him.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so are we the Richie Rich of sports fans? Because
Yeah, we are.
You think that Seattle Super Bowl and the interception of Malcolm Butler, it can't get any better for one play than that. And then, for Christ's sake, guys, we have a play again like that. The Harmon interception when we
just
thought
standing there.
all was lost, and all of a sudden I'm hugging and kissing my teenagers again, and they're letting me do it. Pretty remarkable what what's happened to the Patriots and what happened in that game.
It's amazing that you can just count on these teams crapping down their own leg at some point in time. And
We've mentioned that several times.
right?
Yeah.
And you go through 58 and a half minutes of a game and you think, oh, these guys aren't going to crap down their legs today. And then
So-
with 37 seconds left, here it comes.
So they score. I get up. I go in the kitchen.
Who scores? The Patriots score?
Steelers score.
Right.
I'm in the kitchen doing. All of a sudden, I
Oh.
hear my kids screaming and shouting upstairs. They're jumping up and down. I'm like, what could have possibly happened?
Sure.
I could not even imagine what could have happened. It was over.
In 28 seconds.
So this game was so remarkable. We had the tuck rule and the Malcolm Butler interception feeling
Right, in the same game.
and within like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Right?
It's happened so many times now that now we're saying that's like what you just did. It's like taking the tuck rule. I'll take the tuck rule,
Yeah, right.
and then I'll combine it with the Malcolm Butler interception,
right.
and we'll smush it into the same
Now-
game
And
see
give
how
me a
that
comeback
goes.
too.
Exactly.
Does this make me a bad person? Because
That's perfect.
instead of me like looking at on YouTube the positive reaction of the Patriots, I take huge pleasure in
Oh, the
googling
Schadenfreude.
Pittsburgh's fan reaction.
Totally. Oh, it's genius. You go to their newspaper the next day.
Yeah.
There's a great one of a guy. He has, he's at his house and he takes this whole thing of popcorn. He throws it at his friend.
Oh, I like that one. I've seen that one.
But we watched one of the greatest performances in the history of the Patriots in Rob Gronkowski. That game.
right.
When
He
you
was
talk about
fabulous.
guys in zones, and I think of the Larry Birds and the Michael Jordans and all the great athletes, you could tell that guy was in the zone that game.
I'm reversing this a little bit though. So now I have three. I look at Seahawks fans upset. I look at Atlanta fans upset, and now I have Pittsburgh fans upset.
Yeah, that's better. We just keep adding to the list.
you have a library.
Yes.
Right.
Soon it's going to be a DVD.
Well, they had the
Of
Ravens.
agony.
The Ravens that time they missed the field goal
and then I like
when they
the-
were about ready to beat us.
And then I like going on to their newspapers and seeing their slant on
agony.
things.
Yeah.
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 Oh, yeah. This is fun.
agony.
Now, I'm going to put my neck out here and say the defense wasn't as bad as we think it was. Let's be honest. Pittsburgh Steelers are a high-powered offense that we ultimately only gave up 24 points and had a key turnover at the end. And 7 of those points was pretty much given up by Brady's interception. For a makeshift defense, for a
Yeah.
defense that has absolutely no stars, I think they showed up pretty well that game.
I was wondering why they didn't throw to Belmore. He had 5 receptions for
Because I believe
50
Belichick's
yards
game
and-
plan is take Bell away. take Brown away. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
misunderstood. you
And
there.
and Bell was wide open all day. And
Joe, why
he
would they
didn't
throw
wanna
to him when all they had to do is hand him off?
I know,
Hand off to him
but
and
they
he didn't-
stopped doing it and they were throwing to everyone else.
Well, I think on your question, what this team's defense is not particularly good, but they do stiffen in the red zone. They have one of the better red zone defenses, and we saw it again. The whole thing about the catch being overturned and how the Steelers got jobbed and everything, people forget the Patriots had 2 huge stops on the Pittsburgh offense in the fourth quarter that opened up this game. Like, that game doesn't
And
transfer.
it was a
only
miracle
3 and out
that,
they
that
had.
Pittsburgh was even there. It took a freak crossing route
That's
for
right.
Juju Schuster to get down there. I
Yeah.
mean, the Patriots had this one wrapped
But
up.
that was all about, look, we're depending on the back 5. We're depending on the defensive backs and the safeties to carry us defensively.
Yeah.
And those guys were just gassed at the end, right? They couldn't even have enough energy to push a guy out of bounds. So that's really not on them. It's just the way the defense is.
But that last play, 9 of the 11 Steelers didn't even participate. They thought it was going to be a spike, so they just stood
Yeah,
there.
the most damning analysis I've heard of this on this game was that the Steelers should have had 2 plays called and ready to go. I mean, Belichick and Brady would have had 3 plays called and say, all right,
Yep.
if this happens, if this gets overturned, we're going to run this play, and depending on what happens here, we'll run that play, and if we
you
have
know
to,
what would have
if we-
happened?
And he never would have thrown that
You know
cross.
what they
in
would have
front of
said?
that.
We went through this in practice.
exactly, that's
Right,
a great
exactly.
point.
Great point, yeah.
Situational awareness.
Like they said, we've gone through this fake spike in practice many times.
Yeah.
I know.
Several Patriots said
That's
that.
all you need to know. It's just situational football, and we play it, and
And I
other
love
teams
them
don't.
throwing each other under the bus.
Right.
So
They're
really,
just-
we've used this analogy before, guys. It's like a horse race. The race doesn't really start until the final turn, and it's all about manipulating yourself for the opportunity to win a game, right? It's going to be a close game. You got a lot of guys who are out. You're away in a tough stadium to play at, and you gave yourself an opportunity in the final few minutes to win, and look what happened. Right?
Came down to coaching again.
Absolutely. All right, so boys, can you please make a vow to me that we'll never see Jordan Richards ever
You will.
again?
You will. He'll be a linebacker. He'll be a safety.
Oh, dear God.
That's
I
all
hope.
they have.
Can anyone remember a positive play that Jordan Richards
know.
has made in a Patriots uniform?
Right. And he could possibly have been responsible for 2 losses, the last
Yeah.
2 losses, right?
Yeah, because he whiffed on Cutler last week in a key
on the
moment.
on the safety blitz
Yeah,
there.
whiffed on him.
And based on Terry Rozier's great play a couple of nights
I
ago,
like this
and
idea.
then him in his interview saying that was his DB skills,
Yeah.
I asked the question, fellas, who do you take, Jordan Richards or
Terry
Terry
Rozier.
Rozier
Yeah.
right now?
Well, here's another question. Have you ever seen Marcus Smart and Jordan Richards in the same place at the same time? Because I'm pretty sure they're the same human being. Neither of them are competent at this point in time, but that's another issue.
You know,
both
Bill
the
right now would
jinx.
probably be like, he could use Marcus
Oh,
Smart.
he
right
certainly
now.
could.
I'm a
Absolutely.
huge Marcus Smart fan, and I'm losing a little.
We
faith.
won't get we'll get to the Celtics
So I
later.
got a question for you guys, though. So this defense, as currently constituted, if they don't get Van Noy back and they don't get Alan Branch back, can they win a Super Bowl with this defense?
Probably not. They'll be exposed.
It's
by
not
the
like
better
there's a
teams.
super team out there that's.
It's
gonna
a good
beat them.
point.
You know, it's
Yeah.
not like they're going against a great team.
Right.
Is there any other team out there? You know, every team seems to have a lot of flaws.
Yeah, but
Kansas
come the
City
Super
looked great
Bowl,
at the
they
beginning.
expose us. Look at what Atlanta did when they tried to put a Landon Roberts out there. Boom, boom,
But
touchdown
every
down
team,
the field.
whether it
they
be
had to pull him
coaching
out.
or quarterback or defense, it's every team is flawed this year.
But it's a season of attrition. It's basically who's
Yeah,
going to
exactly.
be
Been a
able
lot
to
of injuries.
And a
put
lot of
enough
injuries.
guys out
Yeah.
there. You know,
It's a good point.
But I don't think they can win without Kyle Verneuil. I've said that before. I said
This
this
isn't
6 weeks.
that's an awful thing to say.
Who's
It
Joe.
is an
gonna beat
awful
them,
thing, but
though,
I said
Scotty?
this 6 weeks ago.
Who's gonna
I
beat
said
them?
that he
Third
was
stringer.
Right, but he's played very well this season. You know, he's been
He's
in
done
that
his
race.
job. Is what he's done. He's-
But no, they cannot win without him. Right?
You know what scares me? The Rams.
Oh, I don't know. Remember we just destroyed them last
I
year?
know, but they
Destroyed.
seem.
Well, it's a different team. They have an offense this
The
year.
NFL seems to be who's on a roll at the end.
Yeah.
And who's playing it like
I
that.
think you're right. I
The
think
Chiefs
the
played
injuries-
great at the beginning. They look like the favorite. They're faded. It's like who's coming on strong at the end.
The Chiefs.
So, boys, I asked you a question. Deion Lewis has been fantastic, and you know I've scheduled his injury in the next couple of weeks, but I'm hoping he's hold off.
Yeah.
Is he the best running back the Patriots have had since Corey Dillon?
He's
Running
gotta be-
back was.
Well, probably,
Gotta
yeah.
be right there, right?
He can
I
do
mean,
it
they
all.
haven't had a lot of good. Lawrence Maroney,
Yeah.
Fred Taylor. I mean, who?
No, you're
who's
saying
been-
six.
Stephen Ridley.
Since Corey Dillon, he's the best
Stephen
running
Ridley.
back.
Well, LeGarrette, I mean, the question is, he's better than LeGarrette Blunt, and the answer is yes.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Well,
He,
no,
run, he
we got
runs a
other
lot.
ones, but
He
Corey-
runs a lot tougher than LeGarrette Blunt ever ran.
Right. So we need to protect Tom Brady. Would you agree, boys? All right. So I think you're going to see more and more of Deion Lewis. And ostensibly, we need to win 5 games. That's what we have left in our schedule. We have
Yep,
we have to have a 5-game
Yeah,
winning streak.
Burkhead's out now for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for a couple
Gillisley
weeks.
be back this week, right?
Gillisley's been a healthy scratch.
Right.
for
No, but
6
he'll
weeks
he'll
straight.
play this week. I would
Yes.
assume. I wouldn't be surprised if Gillisley gets the ball a bunch this week against Buffalo.
Gillisley was great for Buffalo last
Right.
year, correct?
Yeah.
But
What
Gillisley
what
was
has
great
happened?
for
What
us
has happened?
in the goal lines.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but
situation.
his
red zone
trouble with
situation.
is
He's not
they know it's
versatile.
they know it's a
They
running
know
play.
it's a run. It's like Blunt, right? When
Yeah.
Blunt was in the game, they were going to give it to him. They weren't throwing
Gillisley's
it.
certainly not lived up to the hype.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
We
he
were
hasn't
all
played for
excited.
6. No, but I think it's more that the play of Burkhead, Lewis, and White has been so
I
exceptional.
thought we were getting a younger, faster Blount when we got Gillisley.
But Timmy, what we do is
Maybe
we have
you are.
depth. The most important thing, we have depth. So when Burkhead goes down, everyone's like, all right, well, Gillisley will dress next week, so we're fine.
They've been playing Burkhead and Lewis because they run tougher. When they get hit, they keep going.
Yeah.
We do agree.
James White, you know, as much as I love him, does not do
We
that.
do agree that the guy to protect
Blunt
in
never
these,
did that.
in these next 2 games beyond Brady is Gronk.
Oh,
I
my God.
mean,
Absolutely.
are you kidding me?
Oh,
You cannot afford that.
Another example of the Steelers coach just being a moron.
No,
Leaving
somehow-
Gronk single covered in that game.
especially in the 2-point conversion. He's torched you for a record
All the
setting
way down the field.
69 yards.
That guy
on
looked
that
like
drive.
he was about 5'2".
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
The-
you
the
ever
cornerback
seen?
they had on him.
have
He
you
should
ever-
have been flagged for the taunting, though. I mean, that was.
Have
pretty
you ever
bad.
seen it?
Oh, for his no.
He started and then he thought better of it, you know.
I mean, he just punked that guy as openly and as badly as you'll ever see a guy get.
He looked
punked.
like a little tiny midget out there against
Yeah.
Gronk.
But you ever seen a football play where it really didn't matter? All it mattered that David Andrews was on the field, hiking it to Tom
Yeah.
Brady, and that Rob Gronkowski is on the field.
No one else mattered.
It didn't matter. They had Matthew Slater out on that 2-point
Yeah.
conversion because it didn't matter, right?
Yeah.
And everybody knew what was happening, and they still single covered him with a guy who's 7 inches smaller than him. That's why
And
Mike
70 pounds
Tomlin.
lighter.
We talked, and so accurately last week we said, how much is Mike Tomlin versus Bill Belichick worth as far as points? And we said what?
7 to 10.
7 to 10. And boys, it was 7 to 10.
Yeah, 9.
Right.
2-point conversion.
Right.
Right, and that was 9. We were pretty close.
Yeah, right. So that's what you get on this show. Absolutely
Yeah,
accurate.
yeah.
We were right in between. All right, so boys, I just want to mention something, and I'm going to mention it every week for the next 10 years, no matter what station we're on. Jimmy G.
I knew
is
this was
the man.
coming. I knew it.
Jimmy
You know, as
G.
you were saying it, I knew it.
It's painful to watch, despite the fact that we had this wonderful victory. You see what is in the rear view, in front of you, that 10 years of purgatory has already started.
No one
boys.
here disliked Jimmy G.
We all love Jimmy.
He's a
G.
free agent at the end of the year, you know.
You're right. I can't love Bill Belichick.
He might not stay in
I can't
San
love
Fran.
him anymore because of Jimmy G.
the only-
might come
Will he
back.
sign with
He's
the
not
Patriots?
coming back.
The only way I can accept it is to convince myself that it was just unlikely that he was ever going to be the starting quarterback for the Patriots, given the timing. The timing was not going to work.
He
out.
was not gonna sit on the bench till he was 30.
Quarterback, Tom Brady, is the odds-on favorite to win the MVP. He's 40 years old and he's going to win the MVP this year.
But you could have kept him as
we
insurance
could
for
have
this
kept
year.
him for one more
One
year.
And then
year,
you could've- right.
$25 million.
But that's how big business does. They delay
But
those
he
big
still
decisions
was
until.
probably not going to play.
So now he
quarterback
would
for
have
the
been
New England
28
Patriots.
years old and still not being a
And
starting
very
NFL
unhappy.
quarterback.
And now you're sitting here. It doesn't.
Don't you want Jimmy G to be happy?
No, I
You
don't.
love Jimmy G.
I want to be happy.
No, you love Jimmy
know-
G.
I know.
You have a man
I love.
crush on Jimmy G.
I want him
You
to
don't
be.
you want Jimmy? If you love somebody, let them free.
No,
You know,
no,
I know the
exactly.
Patriots
No.
are all business, right?
Yeah.
But part of me said, do they think so much? I know this is not true, but do they think so much of this guy that they said, we have to like let him
have to
free,
do
like
right by
born
him.
free or
No.
something, you know? I know it's not true.
If you really love
Set
Jimmy
it
G,
free.
be happy.
Setting
Set
the
it
bird
free.
free, you know?
Just be happy for
No,
him.
I can't just be happy for him. I'm so bitter and angry.
But
I'm a spurn.
You need
Scotty,
psychological
Scotty,
help.
these guys retire at 34. This guy
Yeah.
was going to be 30 years old and still a
Yeah.
backup
He wasn't. What are
quarterback.
you talking about?
Brady's got
30.
2 or
No,
3 more
he's
years
not.
left. And Brady's got 2 or
What
3
about
more
Jacoby
years.
Brissett? Are
No,
you bitter
no.
about
Although
that
I will
too?
mention that another terrible deal. Philip Dorsett is.
We got burnt on
absolutely-
every deal this year. Coney Ely we got nothing for him.
Dorsett is useless.
Dorsett's nothing.
Right.
But
Yeah,
the
we'll probably win
Patriots are
another
still
Super Bowl.
the
Right.
home field advantage in the AFC.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I mean,
I would give up
this-
a Super Bowl win. I would
Oh,
give
the
up
Colts.
a Super
You
Bowl
are- and you have
victory.
lost your
Yes,
mind.
I would give one
Never,
up right
never,
now.
never.
The sixth one, because let's be honest, that's really not going to be
To
that-
get him back?
No, it's as opposed to I would rather have Jimmy G,
You're
because if we win a
One of your-
sixth
one of your
Super Bowl,
kids, too?
and
One of
this
your
is-
kids, too? One of your sons?
If we win a sixth Super Bowl this year, it's going to be very nice. Everyone's going to be happy for about 30 seconds, and we're all going to go to bed, and we're going to move on with our life. Doesn't move the dial at all.
When's the 7th one?
Jimmy G moves the dial for the next
Would you give
10
up-
Maybe
years.
in
give up two
292
Super Bowls.
Mason Terrace, but
Would
no
you give
more.
up 2 Super Bowls?
I'd give up 2 Super Bowls. Yes, absolutely, right now. Right, because
Yeah,
the,
you've
whole,
lost your
the
mind.
whole idea that Tom Brady's
Yeah.
going to be the
But
starting
of course, we're
quarterback
getting
of the
Jimmy to win them.
I
Tom
can't
Brady.
believe we're
yeah,
talking about Jimmy G right
because
now.
Jimmy G's going to win at least 2 Super Bowls in his
crush.
career. He's going to win 2 Super Bowls in his career. It's the
And
one
he's
of-
good looking.
I don't care. That's
Yeah,
that's
the better
Stop with the look. Seriously, I'm the
He's
straightest
very
man on
handsome.
the planet.
Okay.
He's
All
very
right,
attractive.
No,
All right, we're gonna
Nice
quit
head of
going
hair
with
on him.
predictions.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, Scott.
No, it's not. All right, I'll be a stand-in if he wants. All right, so Patriots 21, Miami 17. It's going to
That
be a
would
close
actually
game.
be impossible because they actually don't play Miami
Yeah.
this week and they play the Bills.
Oh, the
talking
Bills,
about
Bills, right?
Yeah,
My
it's
bad.
Jimmy G's got you all confused.
No, he
you're a
does.
spurned
Flustered,
lover.
flustered.
He's
very
very lover, and I
I'm
know
I'm
you're
never
very
going to get
flustered.
over it.
You'll
I'm
be
never
okay. You'll
going to
be
get
all right.
over it.
You'll
He's
be okay.
blushing.
Look, it
He
took
is
me a year to
blushing.
get
He is
over it. I still
blushing.
have,
I
I'm
was
not
gonna
even
say
over the
it.
Travis Shaw deal. I mean, Jimmy G.
I'm
changed
mad
everything.
because the Colts snookered us twice. Dwayne Allen for
So Jimmy
nothing.
G and Jason Tatum are in an elevator and the elevator's going down. Who you choosing?
What's that?
Jimmy G and Jason Tatum are
Oh,
in an
Jimmy
You
elevator.
can save one.
Jimmy
And
G.
you're only saving
Sophie's
Jimmy G.
choice.
Really?
Yeah.
The young Kevin
Wow.
Durant is
Wow.
being thrown to the wolves.
That's
I love the
really-
example. All right, okay, but all right. So we're gonna rag on the professor because he has man crushes also,
Yeah.
and his most recent man crush
Mitchie?
is Mitch Moreland. But
And
we
it worked
call it
out
for
last
Rusty.
year.
We call him Mitchie boy.
Yeah, and it worked out last year, but I'm
Mitchie
off
doubles.
of the Mitchie. I've moved on from Mitch.
And the Red Sox
I moved
organization was so happy that Russ paid his invoice
Yeah.
that they gave him a little present in the signing of Mitch Moreland for 2 years and $13 million. Are we considering him a lottery winner? Because nobody else was offering him anything close to that.
How much was it?
I don't think so.
2 years, $13 million.
Chump change for the Red Sox.
Chump change.
What are they doing?
Well,
Seriously.
I think Joe's theory is they don't want him to. They don't want Hanley to make that incentive deal on his.
Yeah, they don't
in
want
his
to pay
contract.
Hanley after next year.
So they
They're
need a
putting
way
the
to
squeeze
platoon
on
him.
him.
Yeah.
I know, but seriously. Now, of course, Scott Boras is the agent for J.D. Martinez. He's sitting there knowing right now that the Red Sox must sign J.D. Martinez.
Yeah, they,
or
they
it's-
can play the waiting game on him. People aren't beating down his doors to sign J.D. Martinez at the price he's asking.
Let me ask you a question. If they
Oh,
do
I don't know about
nothing,
that.
if they were to sign J.D. Martinez, and this was the day-to-day team, and let's say Nunez to play second, and this was the day-to-day team, would you be happy with this offseason?
if they acquire J.D. Martinez,
You'll be happy.
yeah,
that's
you have
basically
to
where I
you
am.
have to
How many home
resign.
runs did Martinez have?
Like 40, over 40 last
I'll
year.
take him.
I think with Pedroia hurt, you have to sign Edwin Nunez. You
Yeah.
sign him. and he's good.
Yeah, and I liked him last year.
I mean, look, if they sign Martinez and Nunez, I don't know if it's an A+ offseason, but it's like an A-, B+, right?
Yeah.
They haven't lost anybody of significance.
Well, hopefully
They still got the
hopefully
bullpen.
they're teeing it up for one of the next year for
And
one of those
then next year
gigantic.
they're in the game.
I know that's
acquisitions.
Timmy's hot take right
They
now.
have to do
That's
it.
Timmy's hot
Right.
take. Bryce Harper is coming to the Red Sox. If you're listening to Timmy Hoey,
But the
Well,
Yankees
John
and
Henry
the,
can just sell half of that house to pay for his
Yeah, right.
contract.
the Yankees and the Dodgers are positioning so they're getting below.
Well, he just did sell the Iroquois, so he's got some dough now.
Oh, did he?
right?
is that the yacht?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
well, I'm going to make a prediction. J.D. Martinez will sign with the San Francisco Giants.
They just got Evan Longoria today. I don't think they're
Yeah.
taking Martinez on.
well, I don't know.
And they got
All
5
right.
years, and he's got 5 years to go in his contract.
That's
Yeah,
my.
you
I am
love
so.
Evan Longoria,
Oh my
don't
God!
you?
I'm so glad he's out of the
So
American
Evan
he was a
Longoria
killer.
and Jimmy Garoppolo in an elevator.
Jimmy G.
San Fran's got all your guys.
Tom Brady and Jimmy G in the same elevator. I'm just gonna give Tommy a big hug before Jimmy
Before
G.
you
out of
shove
the
him
house.
off.
You are a
Right off.
heartless.
I don't get
heartless.
this
Brookline's
hatred of
own.
Tom Brady.
No, it's not a hatred.
Oh, it's
Tom Brady.
obvious now. It's unhideable.
Hey,
You
Tom,
can't
hey,
hide
Tom
it
Brady, Tom
anymore.
You
Brady.
just said you were going to choose Jimmy G. Over
I was
Tom
gonna give him a
Brady.
big hug first.
Oh, no, you're a bad
and
person.
thank him for
It's
his
either
service.
Giselle-
I'll tell
it's
you
either
what,
Giselle
by the way,
talking
if
about-
Tom
Cold
Brady
water
gets
on
hurt
the
this
way out?
weekend, I know who I'm blaming.
It's a circle of football life, and it's
man,
time.
Brady's not in that normal circle. He's not a normal human
He
being.
is. You guys can't see it. It's like
The rest of the
housing
world
market.
orbits around him.
You can't see it. It's all starting to happen. It doesn't mean it has to happen in injury. The whole Guerrero thing, how he's getting moody and stuff, he can pull the plug anytime
What
on
he,
this.
he's reached menopause or something?
You know, I'm kind of sick of this
Yeah,
whole
exactly.
big thing about Guerrero. I really am.
I know, but
know,
this
It's
is
stupid.
You know, Brady, they just said, hey, you know, we think you're interfering. We'd prefer that you not do this. I mean, it was probably as simple as that.
But
I
Brady
don't
could.
think that-
Don't you think Brady could leave because he's just sick of it all? You know,
No.
I think Brady's entrenched.
No,
too.
no, I think this is
His kids
him.
are in school.
This is
He
it.
bought
This
the
is him.
house.
Yeah, I
I
agree
think
with Tim.
he, this is his home. He'll probably be a U.S. senator someday here or something. Who knows?
Totally agree with
All
Tim.
right, so the Red Sox, you know, they have a lot of shills in the media. Of course, we're not a shill, but we love the Red Sox. So I
That's
read
why
an
we get the
article-
big bucks, though, because we're not shills.
Yeah, right. I know. That's why I read an article on ESPN this week that don't be alarmed, guys. It doesn't matter if we don't sign J.D. Martinez or don't acquire Giancarlo Stanton because Tim Hires, the new batting coach, is going to change everything for
I
us,
feel
boys.
much better
Yeah.
now.
Well,
I
that
feel
team
much better.
is only to go up. They all had below average years last year.
But how pathetic is it, Uncle Joe, that they planted a story like that?
They got to plan something because they haven't been
They've
been
lost
doing
the
it for
buzz.
years.
I mean, they're third in this town right now behind the Patriots and the Celtics,
distant
right?
third.
A distant third.
Distant
And the
third.
Brewers going on winning streak and they're fourth.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. It's tough to say. All right, so if the Red Sox don't acquire J.D. Martinez, could it possibly be because they've done the math and Houston, Cleveland, and New York are so much better of teams
I
right
hope
now
not.
Or-
that we're thinking we don't have a chance
Or
right
they
now
could
to
be
compete?
saving their money.
Another thing
Invest
is that
the money in the minors.
Our young guys underperformed last year.
Yes.
I think that they're just saying, you know what, they underperformed. They are better than they performed
Yeah.
last year, and we're expecting more out of our right fielder.
Xander.
No, our
Well,
right
Betts,
fielder. Xander had a
Benintendi,
terrible
and
year.
Bradley.
Benintendi, you know, is capable of hitting 30. I'm having a
If
seniors
Betts.
moment here. The right Betts.
Betts, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Betts can hit 30.
Yeah.
Benintendi can hit 30. Bogarts, you know, will come out of his
Should
coma.
hit 20.
But he's the key. Bogarts is the key because
Devers
if he
is going to be
continues have a
better.
bad year,
Devers
we're in
has the
trouble.
potential to be a superstar in this league.
Absolutely.
I think. You know, you know, and then we have our second baseman. I mean, I don't think Pete. I think Petey's at the on the back nine
but,
for sure.
Yeah, but Timmy, you know, look, you have to get better each year.
Well,
You
we
have
need
to
40
acquire
home
players.
runs.
We need 40 home runs.
But the
That's what we
weaknesses
need.
were clear.
We miss-
I think we're very good at catcher.
Right. We miss
our pitching.
Poppy's home runs.
Yeah.
We never replace
We
Big
need
Poppy.
40 home runs. That's what we
Yeah.
need.
Look, this team, I don't know if you forgot, had an extraordinary production from out of the relief corps. Okay, these guys
That
all
might not be
pitched
repeated.
Unbelievable. All right,
Yeah.
the starting pitching was inconsistent, other than Chris Sale, and Pomerantz was obviously good for a lot of part of the season. But other than that, it was all about the relief corps coming in, getting 5-6 scoreless innings at times, and winning us ball games. That's not going to happen this year.
Yeah.
That
You're
just
going to need to score more runs.
Yeah.
I
Relief
agree.
pitching is the weirdest thing because each year it's a new year.
Yeah, it's
right?
like goaltending. Like you never know what you're going to get out of your goaltending, other than like 3 teams every year.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm very comfortable with swear words. I like cuss words, and I know all you guys do
The
too.
FCC isn't though.
No, they're not on this show.
We on satellite here?
How many times do you cuss on average when watching Marcus Smart play for the Boston
I've invented
Celtics?
new cuss words just for him.
Every adjective. Every adjective.
Russ, tell us what a smart is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
come on,
invented,
he
I
has
coined
a-
a new term the other night when he committed a very careless turnover, one of 7 that he had, and followed that up by running down the court and fouling a guy on a 3-point attempt. So I call a
For which he
smart,
made.
a careless,
For which he made.
right, a careless turnover followed by a 4-point play for a 6-point turnaround.
That's a smart.
That's a
It's
smart. Yeah.
That's a smart. He's coming
I
up.
mean, I'm watching this go down, and he's throwing bounce passes, behind the back bounce passes to big guys in the middle of a clogged lane.
You know, as much as I'm disappointed in his recent performance, there's something about the guy that I
he is
love.
a lightning rod.
He's
right?
a gamer.
I totally agree,
If
but-
I believe he's a leader in that locker room.
I like the way he plays defense. He gets down like that Spider-Man type.
But boy,
look,
he
and
can't
he's-
put the ball in the ocean right now.
I totally agree with all that, but it's gotten to a point where you're just like, you watch him play these games and you're like, he is killing this
I'm
team
at the
sometimes.
game. I'm just don't let Smart shoot. Just don't let
Yeah,
Smart shoot.
yeah,
Just
exactly.
And Brad Stevens loves him. Can we admit
Loves
that?
him.
Pass it.
He's at the end. He's in the lineup at the end of every game. The
Yeah.
last 3 minutes of every game.
If it's a close game, he's in there.
I call him the cooler because there are times he'll come in with a 10
He'll
point
ice
lead,
there is
and
that-
then all of a sudden they're losing by 5.
There is that incredible stat though. The worse he shoots, the more wins they have.
Yeah, it's
Like
amazing.
when he shoots under 20%, they're like 10-0
This
or
is
something
inexplicable.
Like
all the nerd sort of basketball analysts have no way of describing what Marcus
I
Smart
do
does
think
on
he
court.
brings a
And I
leadership
think
to the
that's it.
team.
Yeah.
And other than talking about Kyrie Irving after a game, he's the second most
Absolutely,
talked about
he is.
player, right?
Yeah,
on that
Jason
team.
Tatum, Kyrie Irving, and Marcus Smart are your 3 go-tos.
Nobody ever mentions Al Horford, who's
Poor
having
guy.
an extraordinary
Great
season.
This
He's
is
a
the guy
terrific
we
player.
thought we were getting.
Right.
He's a terrific
But
player.
nobody because Marcus Smart, you just can't.
You know
stop
what I'm
putting
digging?
your
You know
eyes
who
on.
I'm digging lately is Tice.
Yeah, he's good, huh?
Yeah,
He's
Tyson.
got
really
he's
long
got arms
arms.
down to his ankles.
Really
Comes
long
in, plays
arms.
some real nice
He
defense.
can hit a shot.
Very good
He's
defense.
better than Jerebko, for sure.
How does
Oh,
a 25-year-old guy who's played many years in the German professional league only get picked up right now at this point
By Danny Ainge.
by Danny
It's
Ainge?
amazing.
An equivalent to a top 10 pick.
nothing.
Because European
nothing.
big men have a bad reputation when they come to the NBA.
Well, Joe,
They're
it-
being stiffs.
Tice is going to help a lot of guys get
Yeah.
contracts right now because
Yeah.
everybody's noticing. All right, boys, I ask, is the Celtics bench the Titanic? Because it seems to be leaking awful bad right now, right?
Those second quarters are rough.
Because it seems
Well,
like
ever since Morris went out, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm surprised at how important a piece Marcus Morris is.
He was
on
a
this
good
team.
6 man. I know he didn't like the role, but he was
You know what I
fine.
was surprised at? I had good seats one game, and how big he is.
Yeah.
He is a big guy.
Yeah,
and he
6'8".
can shoot the three-pointer with a
Yeah.
guy in
Yeah.
his face.
We really need him back. I'd give him as much time as he needs so that he comes back and can play
He
the
can
last
bring his
30
instant
games.
offense when he's stroking it. you
Yeah.
know.
And remember, guys, we gave up a top player in Avery Bradley for him. So
Well,
there,
it
we
was
expect
more of
some,
a salary dump than that.
no, but we expect some return. And,
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, we were
yeah.
getting it. It was
Right,
just that he got
absolutely.
hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
They would have taken a bag of balls. They just had to get rid of that
Yeah,
salary.
that's true.
I know, which is sad.
So
too,
to
because
get a
Avery
player-
Bradley
But they
was a
did get a
but
quality
they got a
player,
pretty good
right?
player,
Yeah.
so that was,
I
I
think
mean,
Bradley's out for 3 weeks already.
And he need a big guy.
See,
Yeah.
Oh, see, Bradley. If
Every
Bradley's
year.
out for 3 weeks, that's
you know, if you look at it,
that's
that
his
was a
kryptonite.
genius move by Danny because he literally would have taken a bag of balls to get rid of that contract, and he got a decent
good
player.
player.
in this
I
guy.
know, but it's sad because Avery Bradley would look awful good in this team. So, boys, final Isaiah Thomas, and we're not going to have a show next week, so we're going to have a show on January 3rd, which may be the day that Isaiah Thomas comes back to play in the NBA.
Really?
And that would be against the Boston
Yeah, I
Celtics.
can't
How much
imagine-
fun would that be?
It would be so much fun. I just
Yeah.
can't imagine they're going to let him play his first game. Like, he won't.
Yeah,
be able
when
to
he's
stop
rusty,
himself.
you know, they'd want him to be
He won't be
successful.
able to stop himself.
I know.
I'm
but-
intrigued to see how he's going to fit into the Cavs
Yeah.
system. I'm intrigued.
I bet well.
He was the undisputed, I'm taking the shot guy. That's
Yeah.
what he made his bread and butter on here. And he's third fiddle.
LeBron will like that, though. LeBron will like to be able to coast for a while.
We'll
well,
detract
yeah.
from LeBron, though, trying to get him some shots.
Yeah. Well, he has to give it to
So
LeBron when he
IT
asks
and
for it.
Jimmy G are in an elevator.
Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Jimmy G.
all day.
All I will
IT
say is, if you guys are in the elevator,
IT
Jimmy G, I would take you guys.
I was going to IT
Look at
Lucas
it.
and
There's
Jackson.
no wedding ring on. He took the wedding ring off just for the
All
show.
right, that's our
Jimmy
show,
G knows he's
boys.
available.
I want to thank, of course, the boys. I want to thank everyone behind the scenes. Of course, Handsome Todd and the lovely and talented Adrian.
the handsome
Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again in 2 weeks on January 3rd for another edition of the Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All right.
I'm Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night. The elephants are in town.
Here comes the circus.